Alright, boys and girls, we are back. I'm your Battlefriend, and today I bring you the patch update for Battlefield 6, patch update notes 1.0 1.0. So let's go through it. We have major updates for 1.0 1.0. The movement is refined with reduced slide to jump momentum, big loss for Call of Duty players, lowered jump height, and increased inaccuracy when firing while airborne or sliding. Weapon handling has been rebalanced through general recoil tuning and adjustments to ensure more consistent gunplay. Rush and breakthrough layouts revised to deliver a better balance between attackers and defenders. Maps improved with better traversal, lighting adjustments, and overall performance upgrades. UI and HUD have received a range of polish improvements for clearer prompts, smoother navigation, and more accurate displays. Settings and controls expanded with improvements across multiple areas. Audio overhauled game-wide with clearer pings, refined weapon and vehicle sounds, and fixes for missing or delayed effects. Netcode optimized to reduce desync, fast time to death, and instances of invisible damage. Very important. Netcode. I hope it works out well. Then we have the changelog for the players. Reduce the speed that can be carried from sliding into jumping, lowering momentum, especially horizontal, another loss for Call of Duty players. Increase the penalty for repeated jumps and slightly lower the jump height, another loss. Increased weapon inaccuracy when firing while jumping or sliding. Adjusted parachute physics reduced the initial acceleration when deploying. Fixed an issue where weapon dispersion could spike far higher than intended. Fixed an issue where takedown could launch the victim into the air. Fixed an issue where players could enter third-person camera while alive. Fixed an issue where players could remain stuck in down state after being revived, with defips following a headshot. Smoother transition when aiming down sights from hip fire for better target acquisition. Fixed an issue where landing animations played after very short drops or when climbing objects. Jump landing animations have been updated to feel smoother and settle faster. Crouch stand transition animations now settle more quickly. Fixed an issue where too much momentum was lost when cutting a parachute. Drag and revive can now be cancelled more quickly for better responsiveness. Updated parachute, skydiving animations, and physics for more fluid movement. Fixed an issue where fall landing speed penalties triggered after very short drops or vaults. Fixed an issue where firing was blocked too long after going prone from sprinting or combat diving. Fixed an issue where weapon sights appeared misaligned after sprinting. Updated vaulting animations for medium and high obstacles. Improved first-person swimming animations. Reduced camera movement when exiting a slide. Toned down camera shake when rapidly starting and stopping sprints. Various improvements and bug fixes to melee attack and takedown animations. Various improvements and bug fixes to drag and revive animations. Improved vault detection for more reliable movement over obstacles. Then for the vehicles, we have helicopters have been given more power and responsiveness, making them easier to fly, adjust mid-flight and survive attack runs, including better chance to dodge incoming RPGs. Increased tank turret speed. Vehicle smoke countermeasures are now more effective at breaking spotting lock-ons. Improved the depth camera experience for air vehicles. Adjusted vehicle mix for hit indicators and updated explosion kill indicator feedback against the infantry. Vehicle aiming behavior, mouse and gamepad, now more closely matches soldier aiming. Vehicle sensitivity and aiming options now use the same default ranges and values as soldier controls for consistency. Navigation to avoidance has been enabled for surface-to-air missiles. Fixed an issue where a vehicle could keep showing a lock-on warning for several seconds after being hit by an MBT law. Added a visible boost bar for ground vehicles that have boost. Fixed an issue with Leopard wreck collision, so players can now climb it from behind. Improved how tanks, tracks, and vehicle wheels interact with destructible objects for more realistic collisions. Reduced the bloom effect on jet bumps, Apache, to clear visibility. Apache. Oh, a little bit confused about this one here. Jet bombs, Apache, whatever. Gadgets. Fixed an issue where some gadgets could unequip unexpectedly when jumping. Fixed an issue where rocket launcher backblast dealt too much damage to infantry. Rocket launcher backblast, guys. Reduced rocket launcher's blast damage against infantry to discourage ground blasting. Rocket launcher explosion now correctly check for walls and cover before applying damage. Removed arming time on rockets, allowing players to fire at floors, ceilings, indoors to open up destruction. Thermobaric grenade, concussive effect reduced from 2.5 seconds to 1 second. Thermal scopes improved, soldiers now appear colder when prone dying and hotter when sprinting. Fixed an issue where a rocket launcher collision could cause double damage to vehicles. Fixed smoke grenades not detonating in some cases. Fixed visual issues when firing certain rocket launchers and scopes. Tracer dart hipfire crosshair no longer appears when aiming down sights. Fixed an issue where tracer dart reticle textures were missing. Fixed an issue where drill charge GL reticle textures were missing. CSB4 EOD bot audio attenuation and patching improved. Remote entry gadget XFGM6D CSB4 bot LTLM2 can no longer be equipped if you're out of ammo and have no active gadget deployed. Repair tool now overheats slightly faster to prevent vehicles from becoming too durable. Repair tool on defibrillators can now damage enemy gadgets. Defibrillators damage reduced on both quick zaps and charged zaps. M320 grenade launchers now show ammo type and count on the display. M320A1 HE vehicle damage tweaked. Assault ladder ramp deployment angle increased to 54 degrees. It was 45 degrees before. Fixed an issue where players could unintentionally equip gadgets while jumping. Improved the throwing arc of the AT mine. It now inherits the speed of the soldier throwing it and better aligns to the surface it lands on. Updated spawn blocking interactions between ladders and wiring materials. Adjusted gameplay volumes so only the assault ladder is blocked from deployment. All other gadgets can still be placed. Fixed an exploit where the deployable shield could be used to climb out of intended play areas. Fixed an issue for the AJ3 COAG mat pen where on-screen visual effects ended too early. 84 now uses aim-guided missiles. And then we have for the RPG, adjusted sight and reticle for better aiming, increased dispersion when aiming down sights to discourage quick scoping, fixed projectiles hitting nearby cover incorrectly when aimed just above. And then the MBT law is now default rocket launcher for the engineer class. Missiles now follow a more accurate trajectory. Now uses auto-guided missiles, can no longer be hip-fired. Sight and reticle updated for a clearer aiming experience. Blast damage now correctly applies to vehicles. MAS41 Glaive? I don't know. Missile trajectory updated to better reflect real-world behavior. 2 zoom levels introduced. Can now lock onto stationary weapons and vehicles. Lock-on distance changed, and now cannot lock onto targets closer than 40 meters. Fixed clipping and reticle issues in the scope. Blast damage now correctly applies to vehicles. Hipfire crosshair no longer appears when aiming down sights. LEDs now correctly show lock progress, thermal setting, and zoom level. Field of view now transitions more smoothly when zooming. Then SLM93A Spire. Gadget can no longer lock onto air vehicles below radar level. Fixed an issue where missiles sometimes did not deal damage. Airburst Incendiary. The projectile now detonates on collision. The projectile now credits the correct damage owner in kill feed and cards. The projectiles deal less structural damage, more hits required to destroy facades. Gadget now cannot be aimed to downsides while reloading. Blast and shockwave radius are now aligned with destruction value. Smoke from the airburst incendiary now blocks spotting and lock-ons for soldiers and vehicles. Bravo 3. Sight size no longer scales incorrect with a field of view. SS26. Fire damage now only applies once to soldiers. Damage drop-off has been adjusted. Unlock requirement reduced from rank 1 to rank 0. LTLM2. Portable laser designator. Spotting angle and maximum spotting distance in binocular mode have been made more forgiving. Can no longer laser paint the environment. Now removes laser paint marks when a vehicle enters thermal smoke. Now correctly spots vehicles when laser painting them. Thermal view toggle now updates the UI correctly. Zoom now activates instantly and returns to your previous zoom level. Deploy animation now placed correctly. Will now rotate properly for other players when deployed. Improved the game hint to show RMB zoom instead of ER interact reload. Deploy beacon now allows only one spawn per player, 4 per squad total, before self-destruct. Very good change in my opinion. Enemy deploy beacons now display an icon on the minimap when pinged. Can now be deployed at the soldier's feet if the original location is blocked. TUGS will no longer be destroyed when their owner dies, can now be deployed at the soldier's feet if their original location is blocked. Recon Drone now flies faster when carrying C4, but batteries drains faster as a trade-off. No longer receives unwanted force when carrying C4, making flight smoother. Movement improved for a more realistic feel. The drone now self-destructs after 3 seconds when flown out of bounds. Supply pouch can no longer be picked up once deployed, no longer restores health to vehicles, no longer pushes players into map geometry, now follows the same ping rules as repair stations, now resupplies as intended and grants 1 additional C4 as overstock. Weapons. General recoil adjustments across multiple weapons. Weapon accuracy adjusted to be more stable when aiming down sights while moving, but less accurate when firing mid-jump. Numerous weapon attachments updated to appear correctly. Increased bullet spread when firing automatic weapons while aiming down sights. M87A1 shotgun now requires more pellets to secure a kill, rewarding more accurate hits. Fixed an issue where crosshair appeared larger than the actual bullet spread when using shotguns with slug ammunition. Bolt action rifles first shot boost now applies to every fired shot. Added glow to a variety of reticles and improved visibility of reticles. Maps and modes. All large layouts have been updated based on feedback from the open beta. Several breakthrough layouts have been updated based on open beta feedback. Fixed spawn killing issues on Siege of Cairo. Fixed multiple exploits on Siege of Cairo and Iberian Offensive that allowed players to reach unintended areas. Finally, they patched the rooftop campers. Improved the anti-air balance on Liberation Peak. General performance improvements to Operation Firestorm. Improved player traversal across Operation Firestorm. Adjusted lighting on Operation Firestorm to make indoor areas and certain assets brighter, where they were previously too dark. Spawn animations on Operation Firestorm improved across multiple game modes and areas to remove bounce effects. Respawning in squad deathmatch is now a 1-button action, simplifying the process compared to the 2-step option in beta. UI and HUD. Updated text and names for select weapons and gadgets for clarity. Fixed an issue where lock reasons were not showing on the loadout screen. Fixed character skin names not displaying correctly in the customization menu. Fixed an issue where locked weapon packages didn't display attachments correctly. Fixed incorrect class names showing on the insertion screen after switching class. Fixed icons under player names not matching class types in pre-game lobby. Adjusted background color for takeover column cells. Fixed options menu buttons focusing on the wrong element after selection, improving navigation smoothness. Yeah, I mean, the UI of the menu and of the settings were horrible in the beta, to be honest. I hope they fixed it. Fixed interact and reload settings options being radically cut off. Fixed credits auto scroll box and adjusted scrolling speed. Credits updated with a new text document, Battlefield 6 logo and centered layout. Added a warning pop-up about XP progress loss when leaving a match via the pause menu. Resupply interaction for support soldiers now only appears when you actually need health or ammo. Navigation controls on the deploy screen and big map have been improved. Mouse navigation in the Comoros has been made smoother and more responsive. Comoros now supports southpaw control layouts. Updated the UI and animations for the training path widget. Soldier and vehicles overlays updated with improved visuals. Squad and friendly name tags now show clear visuals when you're being healed, resupplied, or revived. Fixed an issue where spotting enemies placed a location ping instead of marking the enemy. Fixed an issue where the inventory UI stayed visible after dying out of bounds. Vehicle hit indicators updated for better clarity. Updated visual for vehicles tied to capturing objectives on the deploy screen. Fixed a minimap bug where geometry displayed incorrectly on top of other geometry. Fixed an issue where combat zone images weren't displayed correctly on loading screens. Location changer pings now include animations for improved awareness. Fixed an issue where equipping or picking up a gadget didn't trigger the correct animation. Fixed an issue where enemies pinged through smoke did not properly show as danger pings. Update of the rank visuals and iconography. Improved overall class identity UI, signature gadget, weapon proficiency, traits, etc. C4 UI now shows how many charges you've placed and the distance to your 3 closest charges. Air vehicle resupply stations now have a clear in-world icon. Fixed an issue where enemy placed neutral gadgets could be seen through geometry. The explosive countermeasures UI now shows which enemy explosives will be intercepted on the minimap. Sticky to edge icons now include an arrow indicating direction. Non-wheel grenades now use a distinct sepia tint for easier identification. Fixed an issue where a weapon did not rotate correctly when previewed. Fixed weapon zoom increments when previewing in menus. Players can now rotate weapons while in menus. Players can now preview attachments even from locked attachment slots. Fixed a camera issue that caused it to flip when previewing flashlight or laser attachments. Improved load-up menu navigation with gamepad. Fixed an issue where cosmetics could be accessed by deleting and re-adding favorites. Fixed progress tracking for class badges. Added categories to load-up deep links for easier organization. Enabled stats delta change when selecting an empty attachment slot in weapon attributes. Now for settings. Inspect weapon option hidden on PC. Voice chat now defaults to off. Voice chat now defaults to off. Keep that in mind. Adjust the graphics quality option, disabling auto. Now correctly sets performance mode to custom on PC. PC and console settings are now separated. Added missile flick look threshold for keyboard and mouse. VSync moved back to display settings. Added stay on screen functionality when equipping weapons, packages, and gadgets in customization. Surface replace and customize button added on PC. Auto height HUD is now set as default. Fixed an issue on PlayStation 5, where the auto setting didn't select the correct channel configuration when connected to a TV, soundbar, or controller. Added a voice-over volume slider option. Added a speaker detection feedback during boot. Tune default master mix settings. Adjust reverb mix for non-HD audio settings. Added an accessibility option for motion sickness-friendly combat role. Added an accessibility option to reduce camera bob while sprinting. Added a new option to adjust minimap size, small, medium, large. Portal. Remove crossplay option from server hosting. Interesting. Fix an issue where AI soldiers in Portal were not affected by weapon loadout restriction rules. And we have the audio. Adjusted the audibility of directional pings. Reduced volume for common rows, open-close sounds. Tweaks to parachute landing sounds and low-health breathing effects. Adjustments to incendiary and movement audio mix. Tuned instant death sound mix. Directional ping sound made clearer. Common rows, open-close volume reduced. Tweaked parachute landing and low-health breathing sounds. Tuned instant death audio mix. Adjusted incendiary and movement audio mixes. Adjusted gadget equipped deployed audio across the board. OND soldier and vehicle overlays made less visually distracting. Updated interior firing sounds for heavy machine guns, coaxial LMGs, and helicopter autocannons. Added suppression audio effects for multiple weapons. Polished firing sound mixes across various weapons. Adjusted sound profiles for urban sniper rifles, urban rifles at a distance, and SMGs in open fields. Fine-tuned reload and firing sounds for multiple weapons for higher fidelity. Tweaked shotgun firing sounds, amplitude, delays, pitch. Updated shotgun audio in different environments, open field, canyon, urban. Adjusted audibility of gadget auto replenish sound when reloading a shotgun in the assault class as secondary primate slot. Fixed an issue where flares audio was not playing for the UH-79 gunner seat. Added unique low-health fire sounds for different vehicle types. Fixed an issue where jet low-health fire sounds are continued to play after repairs. Fixed an issue where MBT driver smoke discharged audio was not playing. Fixed an issue where the MBT active protection system audio felt delayed. Fixed an issue where medium damage sounds played when vehicles only took light damage. Fixed a bug where soldiers in exposed vehicle seats did not display squad overlays correctly. Fixed camera shake when firing the LWS helicopter autocannon as the pilot. Reduced loudness and adjusted low-mid frequencies for jets when off-screen, improving sound clearly. Reduced early reflection audio for helicopters. Adjusted war tapes while weapon mix behavior. Adjusted war tape while first-person noise amplitude. Adjusted war tape while third-person noise boost, reducing volume compared to first-person. Third-person noise boost. Interesting. adjusted war tapes valve behavior for vehicle weapons, adjusted war tape valve behavior for minigun weapons, M2440L reload audio improved. Network. Improved netcode to reduce cases where time to death felt too fast. I hope they fixed the netcode. Fixed an issue where players could take damage without being visibly shot. Fixed an issue where health values were not updating correctly. Improved netcode to reduce cases of dying after reaching cover. Fixed a netcode issue where damage feedback was delayed or only appeared after respawning. That's about it, guys. Where the patch 1 update, launch update, patch notes for you. Have a great evening and see you on the battlefield.